This is Dungeon Not Included, the actual play podcast for the adventurous listener. Welcome back to Dungeon Not Included. We're wearing stupid hats. That means one of us is deathly ill. Or we're bored and did something else this week. We went out to the movies. Hopefully the latter. Earlier? Later? Which one is it? The one where we're not deathly ill.
Yeah.
I'm Frank, and I'm joined by Brennan. I almost said Federico because I'm looking at the names on the sheet. Rebel and Alex, and we are here for Dungeon Not Included. We're playing, I think, our first actual session, not zero session, of, I'm going to butcher this, Pasiones? Pasión de las Pasiones. Good?
Pasión.
Close. Pasión.
Pasión de las Pasiones.
Yes. That's why Rebel should be doing these intros. We've had maybe a multi-part zero session. We've talked about the game and what we want to play and what we want out of it. Now this is our actual first play session. So I think, Brennan, you're going to walk us through what last time on how that actual mechanic works.
So there's a mechanic in this game called Last Time On, and that will be the last time on our show. Did we come up with a name for the show? I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. No.
No, we didn't.
We should.
It's got to be something to do with conventions, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Love in the non-conventional. No, it's got to have some sort of pun too.
Non-conventional
romance. All right.
Unconventional romance.
Okay.
What about that?
Yeah.
You can also go the General Hospital route and just be like con.
I think unconventional romance is great. I like it.
Yeah. Yes, I'm partial to the name that I came up with.
Perfect. Sounds good.
All right.
Brennan, you might be a bit far from your mic. If you can scooch it. Yeah. All right. Let's see if that sounds
How's that?
better. Yeah, I think it's better.
Okay.
All right.
It was a couple of inches farther away.
That's also a good name for a soap opera. A couple of inches farther away.
Yeah. 5 feet apart. No, wait, that's already a thing.
Yeah.
5 feet apart. Yeah. So we get our music swelling. The title appears, Unconventional Romance, showing beautiful people walking around in a convention hall.
Conventionally beautiful people walking around. Yep.
Around in a convention hall, yes.
And these are not people you would ever actually see at a convention unless they were like the ones being asked to be on a panel, you know?
Right. They're the guests.
They're operating booths.
Okay. And also, just like, you know how they have to have like the title card, it shows the title card unconventional romance or whatever. That's what we said, unconventional romance, right?
Romance, yes.
And it's instead of like the hourglass, like Days of Our Lives and stuff, it's 2 D20s, but they land on the symbol that it comes up in the top are hearts.
Yes. Oh God! Oh, so awful.
Can I make one adjustment of that? One of them's a D20. The other one is those romantic die you get from crappy novelty stores in the mall.
Yes,
like Kiss My Butt, but it's Kiss, and then there's a D20 next to it. It's like completely wrong. It's gamers hate this show.
A kiss and a heart. Yeah, there you
go. Geeks hate this show. Geeks must hate this show.
Oh God, we have to make it as like horribly uncharacteristic as possible, of course, because it's written by soap opera writers who've never played Dungeons and Dragons.
Highly caffeinated soap opera writers who just trying to get that paycheck. Yep.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Perfect. So last time on, we're going to show a few scenes from each character. What do we see Octavia doing, Frank?
Octavia is, and I'm looking right through my list for those of you who haven't played this before. We actually have a checklist. I am showing my deep hidden feelings for someone I shouldn't have. So
And who would that be?
I think it's got to be Cesar. Cesar, who will reveal soon, is the twin brother of one of Alex's characters. I don't. Is it actually? Remind me again, because it's been a while since we talked.
So Brutus is the star, and
Brutus
Cesar
is the star.
is the jealous brother.
Yes,
Yeah.
Brutus is the star and the NPC, while my character Cesar is the scheming brother who is the player character.
That's so great.
Did you you expressed your emotions to Cesar?
Yes. Oh my God, that's
okay,
right.
So what did you confess?
You know what? Even better,
love for him.
I confessed it to Brutus, but it was directed at Cesar, so I didn't know it was Brutus at the time.
Right. That's right. You thought it was Brutus.
I thought it was Cesar, and it was Brutus, so I confessed to the wrong person.
Oh, I see.
Yes. I love that.
Yes.
Getting that mistaken identity shit in right away.
Oh, so, yeah. I don't know why the star is just sort of playing along. I'll leave that to Alex. But I confess, I'm like, the reason I've always supported you and everything you've done is because I know that of your entire family, not just your brother, your entire line, you are the one true artist. And I will do anything in my power to see you succeed.
Love that.
Nice. So the way that was phrased, I wonder if Brutus knew it wasn't meant for him. You know?
He might not have. Yes.
Brutus is like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right? Yep. How himbo are we making Brutus? Right?
Well, okay, there has to be a little bit of himbo for both Brutus and Cesar so that there's that awkward, like, you know, mistaken identity, not realizing that they're trying to talk to the other twin.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I think Brutus is like, I don't know if I'd call him himbo. We haven't really clarified whether he's like a good person or a bad person.
Yeah, we'll play to find out. Yeah.
Right. But that's why I'm hesitant to use the phrase himbo, because himbos are nice.
Yes.
All right. Brutus, so you see Brutus thanking you, and then after you leave, Cesar comes in, and it's clearly Cesar.
Yeah. That's awful.
Love that.
Love
it. Cesar, last time on Unconventional Romance, what was it?
Very simply, I had I'm going to change mine, I think, now based upon the one we just did. I was originally going to pick the one that says you show up to an event with your twin, which is simply we both walk in at the same time. But if you've done a thing there, I'm going to say you stood watching your twin unaware someone was watching you. So I saw you approach and talk to Brutus, but maybe out of earshot and didn't hear what it was. And I didn't realize that there is somebody who could be either a named character or an unnamed character at this point who is watching me.
Yeah,
already so complicated.
I do have I have a goon squad, like that's part of my playbook. So maybe it was one of my.
Oh, it was one of Federico's goons.
One of my henchmen, yeah.
I love that.
Okay, Cesar, you did overhear what was said, but I think it's ambiguous enough that you're not sure whether it was meant for you or for Brutus.
Perfect.
But meanwhile, a security guard touching his ear is watching over Cesar, spying on his brother in his dressing room, in the green room.
Nice.
Cesar jealously looking from the door of the green room.
And then
last time, what happened with Federico?
So we see a scene of Federico talking to somebody, and he says, "You can't take this away from me. I've been organizing this panel for months." And the other person says, "Enough, Federico. You've been taken off the project. Octavia is in charge of this panel now."
Bam!
Who was
Oh.
it who took you off? Let's give them a name.
Yes. How about Augustine?
Panel away from Federico and gave it to Octavia.
Yeah. So that prompt is, I lost something truly valuable that I must recover. And the reason is, as everybody who watches the show knows, this is the panel that Brutus is heading. And it was my opportunity to get closer to him.
Oh my god.
So we'll set the very first scene with you, Octavia. And it is Augustine coming to you and saying, "Octavia, I've had it with Federico. He's off the panel. I want you to moderate. I only trust Brutus with you."
That's awesome. I express my deepest shock that Federico would so disappoint you. I just like to start with that. It feels as if he's been given so many opportunities to do his, let's admit it, simple job, that he must be undergoing some great personal stress. And I feel deeply sorry for him, to be honest. I, of course, will be diligent in my efforts, as I am with everything. And Brutus is in wonderful hands with me. Do I have full discretion to, for example, perhaps pick a few more people for the panel to round it out? People who will complement Brutus and his apparent skills.
Of course.
Good. I have a person in mind.
This panel is yours to control.
Yes. I think the other side of our audience are people who are geeks who secretly love the show.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Geeks who are like, this isn't how a convention works, but I'm being catered to, and I love it. You know.
Yes. So as soon as she, I think realistically gets off the phone with Augustine, is it? That was it, right?
Augustine, yes.
Augustine, yes.
Augustine. As soon as he does, as soon as Octavia gets off the phone, she takes the elaborate tablecloth that had a fine full setting tea service on it and flips it over. The tea service goes crashing onto the ground, and then on the other side of the tablecloth are big Venn diagrams of how the panel should work, and all the arrows and circles are kind of pointing at Cesar. It said these weird machinations and how to get him onto the panel, even though he's a complete unknown. Yeah.
Okay, so this actually sounds like you flashing back to preparations.
Yes.
So
Okay.
When you flash back to preparations, roll with the questions. So any question you ask that I ask that you answer positively on gives you a +1 to your roll.
Okay.
Did you have plenty of time to do this?
Oh, yes. Definitely. Yes. I've been planning the fall of Federico for months on this project.
Right. Did you have someone looking out for trouble?
Huh. I think so. I think the
answer is no. So
I think so. I think that's what the implication of the conversation with Augustine is, that he I knew this was going to happen. They were having a conversation, maybe she was seeding the doubt in him, and that's the reason why he's decided that Federico is not. So he was looking for trouble.
Excellent. So roll 2d6 and add 2.
Okay, so we didn't really come up with a roll for your.
There is a link. It's in the Pasión thing. It's on the roll for your party page.
Okay,
Use
let
that
me
or we
see.
can use our old one.
Roll. Oh, there it is. Roll for your party tab. And I will open that up for the fun of it. And all right, let me just switch over to the correct tab. Hot podcast action.
This is what people look for from an actual
This is really what they're
podcast.
looking for from their podcast, so they can see the thing that's happening. All right, share. There was an easier way to.
Every single thing we do. I take a sip of my ginger ale.
Okay, roll for your party, and there we go. Okay, so that was 2d6 plus 2, right?
Yes.
So does that mean 46? Is it an additional D, or we just I don't know?
You add 2 to the total of the 2d6.
This is powered by the Apocalypse system, right?
It is,
so everything
indeed.
is 2d6.
Yeah.
Everything is 2d6 plus a
Plus
number.
2. Yeah, so 9.
A 9. All right, on a 9.
I love that I did all that work not to share the screen. Ta-da!
There you go.
Proof.
Ta-da! On a 9, you either mark a condition or I will give you a worse outcome or hard bargain. But you get to choose one of the 3 options on the Flashback to Preparations move, which is on the Other Moves tab.
Okay.
Wait, I thought the Flashback to Preparation 7 to 9 is you mark a condition or the MC will tell you how your plotting is flawed or got you caught up in another problem. Or am I looking at a different sheet?
I'm looking at you're looking at the sheet. I'm looking at the thing here. I think that's totally fine. How your plotting is flawed or there's another problem is very similar to a worse outcome or hard bargain. So
True.
Okay.
This may be an old sheet. So
right. So I think I'm going to I want you to give me a worse outcome or hard bargain.
Okay, you don't want a condition?
I don't think so.
All right.
Let's start off with complications.
Excellent. So I'm just going to actually check the actual rules and make sure. How your plotting is flawed, or how you got caught up into another problem. So I'm going to say it's how your plotting is flawed. And you see, basically you are now looking at your plan that's on the back side of your tablecloth and going over how to get Cesar onto the panel. But the camera pans down to something that you don't notice, which is Cesar has another commitment. And what would that commitment be, Cesar?
I have a date, obviously.
Oh, yes.
What I love about this is the amount of research Octavia must have done that she also has Cesar's daybook, a copy of it or something.
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
a
like
photocopy of it. Yeah.
Octavia absolutely has stolen in a previous episode my Google Calendar.
Yes. It did. And you went to MSN or something. You're using a different it's just something weird happened. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. So yeah, I'm doing all this work to try to get Cesar to be somehow involved in this thing, to get the limelight at least a little bit. And I totally missed that he is busy with a date.
On a date.
That's awful. All right, cool. Yeah, that's great. I like that.
Does
And
it
what's the name
say
of your
who-
date, Cesar?
Hmm?
What's the name of your date?
Mhm.
Oh, that's a very, very good question. Let's say that I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, should it be connected to? I'm trying to already craft the lore of what's going on with Brutus and why he's there and why he's so famous. So I think it's going to be that it's one of the co-stars or like the glorified extras from the TV show.
I think totally a co-star.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, co-star that of one of Brutus's co-stars from the TV show. And the TV show is I brought up a fantasy book name generator, and it's going to be a HBO style fantasy drama called let's see, get names here.
I already hate this.
Oh yeah. The Rebels and the Dogs is the name of the show.
So the rebel, just to be clear, the dogs.
I
Dogs
can
are
pick a
not the
different
rebel.
name. I didn't think of that when I picked it randomly. We can pick another one.
No, I
No,
like
no,
Rebels
I
and
love
the
it.
Dogs.
It's great. I don't.
It's
Okay.
completely meaningless. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, the other there's also, this is a really weird list because there's also the Spiders of the Ocean, and the Mice of the Plague is actually pretty good.
The Mice of the
That's too
Plague?
good. That's too good.
That's
I like
the
Rebels
name
and the
of its
Dogs.
I like the Rebels and the Dogs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Rebels and the Dogs is the way we're going, I think. But yeah,
This is
All right.
already so complicated.
So
Yeah.
his co-star, whose name is what? Julia?
sure.
Is going on a date with you.
The question
Does
is,
she think that
who
you're
does she
Brutus?
think? But
Yeah.
who does she? Yeah, exactly. Who does she think she's going on a date with? Is the question. I feel like that the co-star. I think she knows it's me. I think she does
Okay.
know it's me, and maybe she's doing it to piss off Brutus.
I love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it wouldn't make sense for Brutus to have a date during this
Oh,
big panel.
Unless she just nobody like Brutus doesn't talk about his twin brother ever. No one knows he has a
actually,
twin.
you wanna make this as soap opera-y as possible. The reason
Yes.
why they're on this date is because she was rejected by Brutus, but she wants the paparazzi to think she's still dating Brutus. So she's dating the twin brother so that they get seen at a
Okay.
restaurant together, and then the paparazzi headlines say that they're together.
And that's why Octavia doesn't know, because it's air quotes. It's Brutus date, or like I don't realize
Yes.
it's Cesar
Yeah.
on the date.
Mhm.
Oh, that's genius. This is like a writing room for a really desperate soap opera.
It's really terrible.
We gotta
I
keep
will
this
tell
thing
you,
going
I
for
think
another
all
season.
soap opera writing rooms are like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that is what happens. Federico, what are you going to do about this horrible snub?
Well, of course, I have to confront Octavia face to face because I know it's her. She's the only one who would take this from me.
So where did you find Octavia?
We of course are in the food court, so we can get lots of corporate sponsorship in for all of the places that are like Subway restaurants and KFC or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
I only drink the finest water in the finest way.
Brita filtered. Yeah. So I catch her when she's most off guard, which is when she takes her lunch break, of course. So as she has sat down to eat, the shadows loom over her as two of my henchmen stand on either side as I seat myself across from her and steeple my fingers and say, Octavia,
Federico?
I hope you're enjoying the con.
Of course, it's another wonderful convention we've thrown together. I'm just now realizing how often are these conventions. Is it daily? Just another wonderful day at the convention.
I noticed that you've been, sticking your fingers in pies that you shouldn't, as it were.
I pick up a can of my mixed berry Coke. I assure you, my fingers only go in the pies they are invited to.
The fact that you are now the head of the Rebels and Dogs panel would seem to disagree with that statement.
Oh, I assure you, I was invited into that position. But no disrespect for you, Federico. You did your best with what you had available. It was just that the powers that be saw that there was that you had a lot on your plate, and they thought it wise to take a small bit off and give it to somebody who has the ability to multitask.
The powers that be, or you and your many, many spies?
Okay, so are you accusing her of lying to her face?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. That's a move.
Yeah, great.
Do you have an audience? I think you do. You have your guys here. So
I have my guys here, and we're in the food court. So,
Yes.
like, there's other people.
Do you have evidence? I don't think so. I think
No.
it's just an accusation.
Yeah, I'm just accusing her because I know it's her. It's always Octavia.
But there's no proof.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and roll +1.
Okay.
You might want to change your dice color if you haven't already.
I have a different dice color. So
There
that's a 9 total.
Okay, you get to choose one.
Okay, give me just a second to get the list up.
Yep, pull up the list.
I'm going to say she is surprised, scared, or flustered, and must act with desperation before she can act against me.
It's a good one.
I mean, I'm in, and then I, after I say the thing about the spies, I reach over and grab her, a bite of her Cheeto blasted Subway sandwich.
The foods we're eating are do not match these characters at all.
It's product placement,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like dressed to the nines, right?
Oh,
So you're in the food
absolutely.
court eating
Oh,
Cheeto
I've got my slacks, my button-down shirt, and my vest with like the coiffed hair and the shining anime glasses and my earpiece, And I reach over and grab a Cheeto blasted Subway sandwich and take a bite.
Oh. Octavia is flustered.
Yes.
And the last thing she
So-
says, maybe as you leave, like, so it's has no impact whatsoever. You've already left. You've been watching too much Dogs and Rebels. Spock.
You don't even know the name of the show. And then walks away.
Excellent.
All right. We'll cut back to your act of desperation, Octavia. But Cesar,
Yes.
I think Brutus comes to you
Sure.
to confront you about your date with Julia.
Is this before or after the date has occurred? This is before, correct? Because
This is
the dates.
before. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, brother.
What do you think you're doing?
What do you mean? What am I doing?
You've taken you're taking Julia out on a date. You know she's just using you.
Why can't we use each other?
No, you are, but what am I?
That was the tone Cesar had.
Yeah.
I know you are, but what am I?
Yeah.
Well, if that's how it is, I suppose it means nothing. Nothing at all.
Oh, sometimes things that mean nothing can turn into something.
Do you have feelings for her? Tell me honestly.
Is that a move? Like, for asking me to tell something honestly, it's got to be. That seems like the kind of thing that would be a move in this game.
Right, except that NPCs don't really do moves. So.
Oh, okay. Well then, I think let's see. To tell you honestly my feelings. I'm not sure. I feel things when I'm with her, but you know, things more physical than emotional.
I knew it. You're so superficial.
Super is definitely a word used to describe me.
Oh God, I hate this guy.
Cesar, your gigolo's ways are going to get you in trouble eventually.
Well, until then, brother. And then he like tips his hat and then walks away. And he goes, I think he walks by and like there's a cardboard cutout of his brother from the show, and he like strikes the same pose next to the cardboard cutout and then walks away. Yeah.
Just think of what this real life actor it must be like.
Yeah.
He's trying so hard to play himself and another person pretending to be him in a cardboard cutout.
Oh, and it's what's great too is it's got to be like all cuts, because it's like it's not like they're gonna pour the money into like whatever CGI is required to put them both on screen at the same time.
No, it'll be cuts, and there's a body double that they shoot from behind his head.
Right?
Yep. Not accurate. The cuts are a little bit off.
Yeah.
Eye lines aren't right. Oh, love it.
I think too, unless I don't know if this is the kind of thing I'd have to do a move for, but I think as I like walk by my brother and do like and I don't know how they'd have to do it like some sort of movie magic, but like I like do that last move and I like get in his face as I walk by, but they cut to see that I'm pickpocketing him while we're doing it so that I have his wallet for later.
That's great.
Is that a move that I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna like do a steal or something. Like I don't know.
No, I think you can just do that. Actually.
Yeah, then I figured. I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna pick his pocket and take his wallet.
Okay. Yeah. So the camera totally gets the close up of you stealing his wallet.
Yeah. I also think like maybe the last thing like because it's a soap opera, so I think it zooms on Brutus's face, and he's got this like frustrated like anger kind of like thing going on his face, and in the background you can see Cesar signing an autograph that someone came up to Brutus thinking that it was Brutus to ask, and he's just like gladly signing some like little kids like autograph book at the con, because like this is his whole thing, because he goes to cons and just like fucks with everybody because they think it's him.
Yeah.
I love the vision of the actor having two different ways of signing. Like when Brutus, he's like very earnest about it, and Cesar's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. Who knows?
Yeah.
Tousles the kid's hair and then flounces off.
Actually, I really like that idea, Rebel. I like the idea that Brutus like stumbled his way into acting and doesn't. And the way Caesar sees it is that he doesn't appreciate what he has. So the one who's going to be more of like the one who's going to be more fan appeasing is actually Caesar, even though he has none of the talent. He's the big ham.
That's why Octavia loves you.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
I think
perfect.
I think you're absolutely right. I think that the more like movie star quality signature, like he's got like a gold pen, you know, like one of the ones that's like the gold ink.
Cesar does,
yeah. I think that
whereas Brutus is just using his Sharpie.
Yeah, exactly.
Brutus expects you to bring the Sharpie.
Yeah.
Yeah. $25 for a signature.
Yeah.
All right, that's it for this week. If you just saw an abrupt cut, we were talking about electrocution and children. Completely unrelated to the podcast. But tune in the next time one of us gets sick. Because that's how this stupid idea works.
Yay!
Yay! Hey there, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Dungeon Not Included. If you did, please tell a friend and leave us a 5-star review and encouraging comments on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. It really does help spread the word for new shows like ours. You can follow the latest from the Dungeon Not Included crew on Twitter at DNI Crew, and over at Facebook at Dungeon Not Included, or at our home on the Non-Productive Network at non-productive.com/DNI Crew, where you can find articles, character sheets, and Patreon exclusives, as well as our latest episodes. Thanks!
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.